Welcome back to the 1UP 1Breakdown podcast. I know it's been a minute, but thanks to Car Crash Caston over here.
That's me.
And we've been gone for a month and a half because this motherfucker somehow sideswiped a truck that hit him.
Yes, at least that's what he reported. Yeah, he ran into the side of my car and then says that I ran into him with the back bumper, with whole thing. But also, real quick, I wanted to shout out D-Train from your community. He helped me get a replacement car, helped that go pretty smoothly. So
Brought to you by Chevy. Do you? No, I'm joking.
I didn't even get a Chevy.
Thank you for letting this continue.
Yes, I appreciate it.
So since we've been gone for like a month and a half, there's so much that's happened. Today's episode is just catch up. We're going to be going over games that already came out, a bunch of controversy, and some games that we're super excited to come out.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest one that came out since we had done this was Resident Evil Requiem.
I was going to say you from the closet, guys. So shout out, bro. Car Crash Caston has also become Closet Castons. No, I'm just joking.
There's another one for people to call me.
Okay. Yeah, Resident Evil 9, though.
Yeah. God, what a game.
Game of the year.
I think so. Okay. There's a big hurdle in its way. A big Grand Theft Auto sized hurdle.
Right. Yeah, obviously. I'm just saying it's game of the year right now for me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. At the moment. Yeah. I think the only other one possibly would be Crimson Desert. But even then, I think there's enough negative that I don't think it probably would. But
I like Crimson Desert a lot. For me, I give it an 8.5 so far. It's fantastic. And shout out to Pearl Abyss for constantly updating the damn game. I want every other developer to work the way they do. Like overtime, no sleep, like shut the fuck up and just patch after patch.
Yeah, because that's the big thing people are talking about, or at least that I see people on the internet being mad at, just these nerds going, oh, games should always release complete, which, yes, that is ideal that games would be released complete, but the amount they've updated it in just, a month has been pretty insane. There's like updates like almost every 2 or 3 days, and they're big improvement updates too.
My argument with the game should release 100% with no updates fixing stuff, that's tough because, okay, yes, as a consumer, you want the best version of the product for what you paid for. But if you've ever been on the software development side, it doesn't work like that. Even major companies, they will put out software that is like, okay, this works. Like, we can work with this, and then we'll add and patch later. And that's just how sprints work in the development cycle world these days. Unless you're Rockstar, because you have a $2 billion budget and money is just a fucking toy to you.
And you can push it back as much as you want because you know people are still going to buy it. And probably as they release it then on PC, buy it twice, which is what I did for GTA 5, where I bought it twice.
Because the mods.
Yeah, the mods. And then by that time, the online was fixed because it was a disaster at first for the online for GTA 5, which, I mean, another situation where it's like, when you do this thing, you have to go back and fix it sometimes, and that's just life.
Well, and sometimes you don't know how it's going to be until you get true user data. Like, if I don't know how the game is going to work with 1 million people on it, how the hell do I fix it? And,
exactly.
So many people don't get that it's like you have to see where the fuck up is to understand where to fix it.
Yeah, and you can only plan or like test so much because if you're testing for certain things, you're not always going to figure out things that other people are going to figure out. I mean, just look at like all of the different like exploits that have been found in games, like in just general, like crazy stuff. Even people find new exploits in old games, like, you know, like Mario 64 speed runs where they always find new different things like that. So it's impossible to get it completely right. But I do think, man, they've so far done a great job of righting the ship.
Yeah. Resident Evil 9, as far as that goes, I'd like to say this. I officially called Leon getting killed in the game. I understand it's not canon, but I called it months before it leaked. Leon was in the game. Okay. I said, I feel like, what if Leon gets put in this game and they kill him off? And they brought him in the fucking game, and then they did that to us. It was the most traumatic thing I've ever seen. I was like, damn, not my boy Leon. Like,
I specifically looked up which one was the good ending because I wanted to not see that. I can't see my boy.
I didn't even do that. So when I was playing it live, I was selfish about it. And I was like, okay, he said he wants me to destroy it regardless if he dies. And I was like, I don't give a fuck if I burn the whole world down, but Leon lives. Temu Wesker is saying, if I do this, I'm going to let him live. And then it just so happened that it was like a cure. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I saved him. Like, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I had to go back and watch the other side. And I was like, yeah, it is crazy.
My shot that I called did not come to fruition, though. I was saying that Claire should be in the game, but who knows? Maybe a DLC thing, like, because, with them going back to RPDs, like, well, and that whole game is just a major, like, people were calling it nostalgia bait. I think, like, they did a lot of stuff like that. Maybe they thought it was too much, or maybe they had plans for a DLC or something, but that was my shot, and I failed.
I didn't think it was nostalgia bait. I thought it was really good. It made sense. It's a really good story plot that this guy that we see as this badass hero who is untouchable, nothing can get to him because he is Leon fucking S. Kennedy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the human side of him, which is he's been living with survivor's guilt forever. And you see it the second he walks into the RPD and he sees, his commanding chief's desk. And you hear it in his voice. The voice inflection was perfect. Everything about it. As far as Claire goes, they did announce the DLC's coming out. And they did also say they're going to explain who Leon is married to.
God, that is something that people have just not let up on. It's the stupidest thing. People are getting mad at him potentially being with Sherry, and then potentially that making him a groomer, and then that potentially being problematic.
People are fucking dumb.
Oh my God. Guys, first of all,
it's
we
not
don't
real.
even know. Like, they're pixels. And like, dude, they haven't said who it is yet. Let's maybe chill out a little bit.
It's the dumbest thing ever. It's like, you don't even fucking know. He might even just be married to some random ass bitch.
Yeah, new character.
Right. It's like Barbara, It's like she works at the front office. Like, people are just dumb, dude. They just want to get mad at anything or try and say. I mean, I got fucking yelled at on the internet because I was not modding my Resident Evil 9. And it just so happens that Grace had like a maybe 10% slightly bigger butt. And there was a group of people on the internet that lost their shit. They're like, how could you fucking do that? You fucking altered her. And I was like, you're reposting clips of Leon shirtless. What are we doing?
See, you failed to realize that the rules that they are trying to create don't apply to them. They get to just be the virtuous one, and their thing is right, and then you have to be bad because that's what they want.
They're fucking stupid. They're brain dead. These people don't have jobs.
Yeah, the chronically online.
Yes, professionally unemployed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. Going to my next game, though, Crimson Desert, banger. It was good. I had faith in it. The hype was real, and the hate was real. It was insane how many people were shitting on this game, and I kept telling people, I was like, are there valid complaints? Yes. But if you look past surface level BS like you guys did, which someone fed you your opinion, this game is pretty damn good. And it's only gotten better, like tremendously.
Yeah, all the changes they made have been really good. I think because where it is, like the core of the game, the way the game plays was always pretty good. And that's where like, okay, that's one thing you can't patch. You can't patch the core of the game. But like certain things where it's like, this is a weird choice, and they're like undoing it all. They've already improved so much like quality of life stuff. The menu, hopefully, my biggest complaint with the game is on controller. Your select button just slightly changes your viewpoint behind Cliff when like it's a map in every other game.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to go to the map, like, oh, I'm zoomed in again.
Yeah. This game is just so impressive to me because it truly is whatever you want it to be. And that's what I think people miss the point. Like, people are harping on the story. And from what I've heard, the story gets really good towards the end. Like, that's when they finally start bringing like good plot to it, which is fine. But some games you don't play for the story. And it's just the truth of it. Like Souls games, 90% of Souls players do not play for the plot of Dark Souls and stuff like that. They couldn't even tell you the plot. In fact, half of it is up to interpretation because they don't actually explain it. And that game is so in-depth that I've been seeing clips of shit where I'm like, I never would have even thought to program this into the game. Like, this dude abducted 30 different fucking fish from a pond, went to an entirely different pond across the map, dropped the 30 fish, and they just started living in that pond.
That's pretty crazy.
Do you understand the level of depth that you have to like program to make that happen? That's not.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's, in my opinion, most impressive of the game is like there's so much stuff like when I was playing it early, kind of what kept happening is I was like, oh, that's a really cool feature, and then something also dumb kind of happened, which they're fixing the dumb stuff. But like that's kind of the encapsulation of the game. It's like this is an interesting thing that they put in, an interesting thing that you can do that's not really done that often. They try to do like all this stuff, a very ambitious way they made the game.
Well, and any game that allows me to RKO a person while my cat is next to me in armor, I'm sold. Like that's fun. That's, you know what I mean? That's a good time. But I think that Crimson Desert, if nothing else, exposed the idea that sometimes the critics are louder than they're actually warranted to, because they gave, like IGN gave it a 6. Suck my absolute asshole. How are you giving Crimson Desert a 6, but you're giving games like Marathon and what was that, Dragon Age, the Veilguard?
Oh,
they gave it a
yeah.
9. Bro, you've got me fucked up. And then what did they? What was that other Concord? They gave that a 9 too. Like, guys, the paychecks must be fantastic coming from these companies for a 9. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, either that or like they look for very specific things, because it's such a weird things with gaming too. Is there's a whole different groups of people that play games for different reasons, and that's why Crimson Desert's a really good one for people who play games for like the gameplay and don't care about the story. And there's sometimes people care about weird shit where it's like, why does this elevate this so much to you when there's all these other issues that you're just neglecting to care about because this other thing they did was so important.
Character creator. That was the dumbest thing that I heard people bitching about. I can't make my own character. Brother, nobody wants to be you in real life. Okay? Why the fuck do you want to be yourself again in the game?
Yeah. And
play the character.
That's something that I like having a character that's made for me to play. I like having, even there's a character creator kind of thing in like Mass Effect, but you are playing your character's basically personality wise made for you. It's not a silent protagonist. I like having a character. I like getting to know this main character you're playing as.
There's more depth.
Yeah.
More attachment to it. You're actually reading what the story was intended for. When you have a character being made from scratch, it's hard to always tie the story to said person because, you know what I mean? If your character's blue with Squidward's nose, it's kind of hard to like make a serious story. You know what I mean? It's like he came in on horseback. Like
SpongeBob.
Yeah, it's like, no, guys. And not to say that I don't mind a character creation, but I'll put it into perspective. Code Vein 2 had a character creation that was really freaking cool. And yet I felt zero attachment in the story to my character. Zero.
Yeah. I will say it's not going to change it with character creation. I don't really care about Cliff in Crimson Desert.
Fine. You can not like the character, but like to say that that's what ruins the game.
I don't think it ruins the game.
Right.
It's just like to me, Cliff is nothing. He's like not even a character because he doesn't really decide to do things. He just shows up and things get thrown at him, and he like always says yes to everything, and he doesn't like. He's very like, he's not a deep character at all.
He's a worker bee.
Yeah, he just is there to have a kind of voice to your character. There's not like a character for you, in my opinion, to like fall in love with, you know?
Yeah, and then this is something interesting about Crimson Desert. This is this is my one interesting complaint about it. It's not really a complaint. It's more like an observation. I haven't played as the other characters they allow you to play as. Not once.
I've not either. I have not. Well, the only time I tried to switch between them, it actually fucked me up because it does the Grand Theft Auto thing where it like goes up and goes to where the other character is. I'm like, shit, she's over here. I don't want to be over here. I need to go back over there. And then Cliff was somewhere else. I'm like, fuck, I just moved.
Yeah.
I went away from where I needed to be.
The chick has a sick greatsword. I thought it was cool that it like actually elongates and then collapses. I was like, that's clever. But it was a good RPG overall. I think it's what we needed in terms of like the open world, like action kind of adventure. We haven't had anything like that for a long time where it was like the world is your oyster. Just do whatever the fuck you want and have fun. There is no right or wrong way.
Yeah, I think they also got a little lucky too. I think since there's no other games coming out and people were able to continuously give it a chance while they were able to update it, like if they released this 3 weeks before Grand Theft Auto came out, I don't think it would have recovered in that kind of way.
Nobody's releasing anything around Grand Theft Auto. In fact, the industry themselves have said they're trying to plan a release dates around Grand Theft Auto within a 3-month window.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. You're not going to compete. That's just instantly you're getting smashed. You're getting absolutely pulverized. I'm calling right now Grand Theft Auto's release date, once it actually is 100% official and nothing else is coming out, you will see the most amount of PTO request days
Yep.
in the world. And people will be like, yeah, mass numbers. Like, we have 80% of our staff asking for the 19th of September off. What the fuck is going on?
Didn't they give people in China time off to play Black Myth Wukong?
Yes.
I was like, man, maybe we should do that here. That'd be cool.
Banger day. I'm not giving my mods any time off for that. I don't care. They could be like, hey, man, like, I don't want the story. Fired.
Well, guess what? You can pull up the chat without looking at the screen or listening. So
Yeah. You don't gotta
get
watch,
to work.
You don't got to watch the game to ban people. But speaking of games coming up that I'm super stoked for, the first one that is just on my list that I don't think enough people are talking about is Mouse PI for Hire. Have you seen that?
No.
It's sick. So it's like a black and white, like Mickey Mouse shooter game.
Okay.
And it looks awesome. It's like a day before Pragmata. I'm going to be playing it. The game looks amazing. It looks fun. It's goofy. It's like everything I want from like a little mini shooter.
Well, that'd be cool. Is it like a smaller indie game or is it like a bigger studio doing it?
I don't know what studio is doing it, but you should look it up just so you can like see the vibe of it.
Let's see. It was Mouse PI
For Hire.
PI for Hire.
I've been waiting for this game for years.
Oh, interesting. It's almost like kind of with okay, so it's $30, so it's a smaller kind of game, which is cool because that actually helps. But it's almost like they did what Cuphead did, like with that kind of art style, going to an older cartoony one.
Right, and it's trying to, I think it's trying to play on like Steamboat Willie kind of esque Mickey Mouse era. You know what I mean? Since that's like open.
It's public domain.
Right,
now.
exactly. So it looks fun. I can't wait to play that. My cosplay, I'm just going to be in like a suit and tie, but I'm just going to change my camera to be black and white.
Yeah, just remove all the saturation.
It's the easiest thing I've ever done.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm stoked for it. That game's really good, which also leads me to Pragmata as well. I am beyond excited for that game. It looks really good. It's a brand new IP from Capcom, one of the best companies for gaming in the last 20 years.
Yeah, they've been killing it, man. And it looks pretty good. We saw like we saw people playing it when we were at TwitchCon, or was it TwitchCon? Yeah. But we didn't actually get to like play it or see too much, but I do like where they're going with it. I mean, it's a new IP, so you really only can see and tell so much, but it's one of the few games I'm particularly excited about and just kind of crossing my fingers like, come on, please be good, because we need new IPs for single player games.
We really do. And that's something that I keep thinking about too, is that, you know, sequels for these amazing games, I'm all ears, right? Like RA9 as an example, I was hyped. I was ready for it, but we do need new IPs because unfortunately a lot of them have kind of been dropping the ball. And even some of the sequels for these beloved IPs have been dropping the ball. I was fortunate enough that Capcom has asked me to review Pragmata early. So I'm going to get it 2 days before everybody else. And I'm going to be as brutally honest.
Yeah.
That's the thing is I want to, if these companies are asking for my opinion, I'm going to be so brutally honest. I'd rather be known for a guy that's honest than a guy that just gets paid for 9 out of 10 review on something that definitely isn't a 9.
Have you seen the clips of the guys that are doing a sponsored stream and like, yeah, we're gonna finish this off stream, guys. Yeah, I'm totally gonna play this off stream. And it's like you could tell just they fucking like, oh, please let this end. Please let me hit the timer.
I have a very like firm thing with my management team that I tell them if they want me to bullshit, I'm not bullshitting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm here to give you constructive feedback, constructive criticism. I'm not gonna just shit on your game to shit on it. I've never done that.
No, and you're pretty fair usually. Because there's a lot of games where people like they get caught up in the hate cycle.
Marathon.
Whereas, like, say Marathon, yeah, you were more fair than most to Marathon. I'd say even like Crimson Desert's another example.
I hated Marathon.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. I don't think it's a bad game. It just wasn't for me. And I think some people have a hard time disassociating their opinion to whether something is good or not.
That drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
I hate that so much. It's like you can't. I don't get why. Yes, I do think your enjoyment attached to it is definitely an indicator of quality in to some capacity. But I feel like you should be able to sit down and be like, I can tell that this is good, but it's not for me.
Yep.
I don't find it entertaining. Like that doesn't make. I don't know. People are so weird with that shit.
They just think that their opinion is law or facts. This is such a big issue with gaming right now. People think that their opinion is the lay of the land, the fact on something. Like Marathon. I didn't like Marathon, but I thought the gunplay was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bungie. You know, you're going to get good gunplay. I thought the design was really dumb. It wasn't for me. I didn't like it. The color palette, the UI, all of that just wasn't for me. But here's the thing. I don't think it's a bad game. And what a lot of people fail to understand is that game might not have been made for you as a consumer.
Yeah.
And people keep thinking that everything just has to apply to them in one form of capacity. It's like you literally just might not have been the target audience. Just because you liked Arc Raiders as an extraction shooter doesn't mean you're going to like this flavor, because I like Arc Raiders. I don't like Tarkov. Obviously, they're in the same genre of game, two different things.
Yeah, and there's things like people come out saying like, it's this kind of concept too, and you've seen game devs even say this, where it's, if you make a game content, music for everyone, you make it for no one.
Right.
Because then you just are trying for mass appeal, and then you're going to find it's just going to be either come off generic or soulless, and then you have to know what your vision is for this thing. And when you have that vision, like, say what I would say to me Arc Raiders did, where there's like, we're going to make an extraction shooter, and then this might not be what they actually did, but kind of go the more direction of how Fortnite did relative, like, say, Tarkov is to, like, PUBG as Fortnite is to Arc Raiders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a simplified, easier to digest version of this extraction shooter genre.
Here's what I freaking hate right now. People are so obsessed with statistics in video games. It's freaking annoying. It's fucking dumb. Like, I will constantly see people tweeting status updates about where the concurrent viewer number is on Steam for how many people are playing this and the peaks and where it's trending. I'm like, dude, what in the fuck are you doing? Play the game or don't.
People are just trying to build an agenda, and that's all it is. It's happening a lot. Like, just online discourse a lot of times is just that. They have this opinion, and they're like, I need to find any kind of statistic that proves I'm right and the person I don't like is wrong.
But who gives a shit? Like,
I know.
I could give two fucks if a game is booming or dying, right? Like, doesn't affect me. I don't have any stake. I'm a gaming content creator. I do this shit for a living. If a game is blowing up, that helps me with content, right? I still don't give a fuck because I'm not an investor in the game. I don't get a return from the game doing great or bad, right? But the way these people on the internet are acting are as if they were invested in the main competitor. Like, they have shares in the game. Like, oh my God, I have $1 million in Arc Raiders. I can't let it do worse than Marathon. It's my fucking journey to make sure that game crashes and burns. And it's like, why?
I do think, like, man, if you are really just online a lot, you see all these things, you see these things that people are saying, these videos people are doing, and then it starts to, like, it's like how propaganda works.
Hive mind.
Yeah, you start to hear these things, and then you also start to believe it. But if you say disconnected from all of that for a few weeks, like, most likely your opinion and, like, the way you see certain things that are new is going to shift pretty drastically because you don't have this other person bringing you proof to think how they think, you know?
I even tell people when they ask me for my opinions on it, I'll share my opinions, but I'll literally say at the very end, but don't take my opinion as, like, the standard for what it is. Like, assess for yourself. And my favorite argument is, well, that's easy for you to say. I don't have $70 to try each game out. That's fine. That's not what I'm telling you to do. You could just not have an opinion.
What? No, I need to have an opinion.
Right.
I need to be right online.
Yeah, and it's like you could literally just not have an opinion on something you haven't tried. And why that concept is so foreign is insane to me. Because people will ask me too, like, what did you think of this game? And I'll say, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would be for me, but I never played it, so I'm not sure.
Yep. It's that easy.
Maybe it might be the best fucking game ever. I don't know. I didn't play it.
Yeah.
That's like people ask, what did you think of Witcher 3? I don't know. Never tried it.
You still should, but
Right, but like I never tried it. I don't have an opinion. It might be
exactly.
It might be my favorite game in the world, and I still don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, gaming is in an interesting spot, and I hope that eventually people start shutting the fuck up. But unfortunately, I'm going to be a little bit of a hate my own type of people. Content creators are to blame why negativity sells so much within gaming right now, is because they know if they shit on something, they're going to get the most views, the most amount of shares, the most amount of fucking like negativity sells, and negativity is an easy hive mind.
Yeah, I mean it truly does create the most engagement because the people that agree with you are gonna be like, yeah, and the people that disagree with you are gonna be like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
And so like if you just have a neutral thing or like an entertainment type clip, it's like a lot of people will just possibly watch and then leave as they like, oh, okay. But if you rile them up in that way, then it's like
Yep. And the shitty thing is, there's people that don't even care, but they feed off the idea of making people mad. It's like the only way they get dopamine in life, that they'll join in on it, rage baiting people just because it's how they get a fix, like their fix. So,
yeah, I've seen people talk about how they have like these agendas and they have arguments saved in their notes.
yes.
Like to be like, okay, I have this ready to go for when I see a TikTok that I don't agree with talking about this game about why this one is better.
Well,
Like,
and that's
what?
That's what somebody was doing to me. I was getting that a lot when I was posting Crimson Desert content, and like AI slop. They used AI to generate pictures inside the houses. And I'm going to tell you this right now, and I don't give a shit if anybody hates me for this. I do not give a fuck.
I think there, like everything in life is a spectrum, and people don't like spectrums because it's like that's why we draw a hard line. It's like this is where my stance is on this. To me, I think using AI for background pictures in a house level, because wasn't that what it was? It was like paintings in a house or something.
Yeah, that like 99% of the player base would never even fucking know.
I don't think that's the like craziest like negative use of AI, because I think it just like, I mean, obviously I'd be cool if they're able to pay someone to do this stuff too, but like it's not that big of a deal.
It's not that deep. That's one of those things where it's like you're going crazy. You're just trying to find something. Like if the whole game was made with AI, or like half the game was made with AI, I can respect someone's stance on it and be like, hey, this is just like generic yada yada blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. I'm with you, right? This is such a non-issue that like it was like the Expedition 33 newspaper thing. Bro, now we're just reaching for shit. Like, shut the fuck up. And you know what my favorite part is? I don't support AI slop. Let me go to Google and do something. Now, hold on a second. Google's developing AI, and that they're going to feed the information to this AI from your Google search. What are we fucking talking about, you hypocrites?
But dude, it's like does this really change anything? Does that picture being AI generated versus real, I think at most would change whatever it took to generate it, and possibly one person getting one less of a job, which probably is someone that would have been already employed by the company making the game. So it's just one last task for them.
Right.
If it's taking actual like jobs away from people, like, okay, now we have something.
But that's not typically the case. Like I used to build AI software robots for a company, a Fortune 500 company. Nobody ever got fired for the robots I built. It was never that never happened once. It was just some stupid, tedious bullshit that didn't matter. And it offloaded their plate so that they could work on the things that did matter. Like every other fucking major mechanic in the game. You know what I mean? And even if they did fucking make those paintings from scratch, none of you would even recognize or appreciate it. Ain't nobody going in any house in the game and going, bro, I enjoyed this game. One of my favorite parts was the fucking the paintings inside the house, dude. It just moved me. The way Picasso paint. Like, Shut the fuck up.
In all honesty, probably, I mean, if I was in that situation and it's like we need something here, or probably what I would do, it's either if you really were running low on time to do that, I probably just wouldn't have put something there. I just wouldn't have put a picture there or something. You know what I mean?
No, but like, there's no point not to. The thing is people are this. People need to get over the idea that just because they don't like something, that's how everything should work in life. That's not how the world works. It's not how the world has ever worked. Farmers used to get pissed that the fucking tractors were being made. Fucking self-checkout people, like cashiers at Fry's, were mad because self-checkout became a thing. Like, this is unfortunately how civilization progresses in things in life. It's just how it is. It's called disruption for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, it makes things more efficient and things change over time to accommodate that thing. I don't give a fuck that somebody used a tool to make very little miniature things. It's just not like what is the meat and potatoes of the game? Was that good? Was that a labor of love? Was that focused on? And these motherfuckers have been pushing out updates like no tomorrow. So they're obviously fucking working. They obviously have the team to do this stuff. It's not like they just fucking booted people and like, yeah, have the fucking AI do it. No, because it would suck.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. Eventually, though, 10, 15 years from now, AI is going to be making a lot more things in these games. And this is just an uncomfortable truth. Nobody wants to say it out loud. And not only will more things be made with games, the scope of games will be increased because they can do other things now without having to take time away from actual developers. And the quality of games will actually go up over time too, just because you have somebody working on shit that just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I do think probably what is going to happen, there's going to be people that will, like, definitely there's going to be devs and everything. Because I feel like this happened with computers and stuff. It happens with every new technology.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
They're going to go too far with it, realize what the actual capability is of it, and kind of scale it to where it's going to be where it needs to be to where they can get the product that they need to get.
Yeah, and that's just humans in general. Overuse to overcorrection. That's just default on everything. It's like, holy shit. I mean, it even happened with NFTs, right? It was overdone, turned into a scam. It corrected heavily, and eventually they will be used for more practical reasons besides a fucking monkey picture worth 2.5 million. You know what I mean? It's just a digital receipt. That's all it is.
The technology's there to do something. It's just what has started, and when it's originally being used, people are going to do all this crazy shit with it, and it's going to correct eventually.
But unfortunately, that's a necessary to know. What is that boundary? Somebody has to push the boundary for it to grow. And unfortunately, there's this online mob of people that don't want to, or this and that, and they're afraid. And at the end of the day, consumers are what speak in anything, right? If 90% of the player base does not give a shit, but 10% does, guess what they're going to do?
Yeah, they're going to go with the 90.
Right. I don't give a fuck. What is like 10% doesn't care. This even is a thing in music, right? Like people hate AI artists. I'm not crazy about AI music. It doesn't like do anything for me. But there's people out there that genuinely love what they're listening to. And when you talk into the terms of art and it being a subjective thing, if that person enjoys what they're listening to, who am I to tell them what to get enjoyment from? That's me having an ego saying that my standard and my principle for art trumps anybody else's. And that's what I think a lot of these things are rooted in, is ego.
Yeah, and ego and morality. It's a strange line that's being walked, because yes, is it more moral to not use AI to be more pure this way? I get you could easily make that argument, but it's like, what is like the line? And also, like, what does your morality dictate to where you decide what other people can and can't do?
Right.
Just because you don't agree with a thing doesn't mean it's not something that someone has the right as a person to do. And I think that's kind of a weird spot that we're just in, where it's like, I disagree with this, so no one should be able to do it.
I don't think it's a weird spot that we're in. I just think that, unfortunately, the people that bitch are the loudest. And most people would be very shocked to find out that the general census does not give a flying fuck. we just don't say anything because we don't feel the need to always voice our concerns or opinions. And there's people that get off on the idea of, man, I can make my voice as loud as possible. And I don't care. And again, this isn't me saying I'm a fan of AI. I just am not delusional to understand that there's nothing I can do to stop it from coming.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely transparent. I don't like AI. I think like there's a lot of it. I think anything in the creative process that's kind of taints it, but like doesn't mean there's an area where even in like creative processes where what it's really doing is just moving things along a little bit. It's also just a tool. Like I don't necessarily like it, but I think that there's also like practical uses where it's not going to take away from the artistic integrity of what's being made.
Right. And I'll push back on you in a little bit. Okay. Let's say I'm some 17-year-old kid in my room. I don't have the money to buy the gear and all the stuff that I want to do to make music. And I have this idea for something. And I have a shitty guitar and I want a saxophone part in my song. And I play the notes on my guitar, just plucking the notes. And I go to AI and I say, please turn these notes into it being played on saxophone. Is that not still art? Just because I don't have access to a saxophone and know how to play it doesn't make me less of an artist just because there's a tool there to help me create.
I don't think that is, because it's more of because you still in that scenario would have wrote the part. You still would have created. You're like, I want this to sound this certain way. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But then people will say that saxophone was played by someone else that had that saxophone, so that wasn't you. It's the same thing, right? You're stealing someone else's sound. You're stealing, you know what I'm saying?
Well, in that example, I think there's something that people will just don't know is that shit's been happening in music forever.
My point exactly. Rap has been sampling other people's shit forever and nobody batted an eye. So that's what I'm trying to get at is there's this weird stance on things where it's like it's all bad. And I look at it and I go, it depends how it's used.
Yeah, there's a lot of that argument where there's just no nuance to it.
Right.
Where I think there is a level of that spectrum where it doesn't, like if you're creating this thing and then using it to make the change like that, to change the actual, say, instrument of it, which is just what basically MIDI is anyway. But like that to me is still you being creative. You were like, I saw this out and I created it and just use this to alter it slightly. There's a line, and that to me does not cross it. So
right. And then it's like it's one thing if you're just like, write me a song from Maroon 5 based off this song, same cadence, same flow, just in a different key. Mm-hmm. Okay, right.
Yeah,
obviously.
that is there.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Like then that's what I'm saying. Is like I get that, right? Like I can understand people's qualms with that. But I also think that should come down to the artists themselves. Because some artists might not give a fuck that people are stealing their stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's musical artists out there that are like, I don't care, bro.
Yeah.
It's just it. So there's just no legislation on it yet. And the only way to find legislation is to just like let it advance more. That's how we are. We're a reactive society, not proactive.
And everyone that runs all the governments and like society and just about everywhere is old as fuck. So like they can't even sign into their computers properly.
Bro, they can't even open a PDF.
Yeah. So like it's going to take some time for it to get to be where it can be explained to these fucking fossils what this is doing and why it is. I think probably just the biggest one's going to be whatever copyright happens with it. It's like of what I think right now they're basically saying, yeah, like anything generated to like using like just a prompt of make me this song can't be copywritten because like they didn't make it, you know? So like
so what's funny enough is you already can't do that.
Yeah.
Because I've just messed around with stuff just to see like how far I can push things.
Yeah.
And I've literally typed out prompts where I'm like, make a song that's this. And then the thing will come back and be like, no. Like I can't. And I'm like, cool. Like that's good. You know what I mean? But what makes me turn around and laugh is every industry from gaming to music to movies to everything has been ripping each other off, copying the same shit, the same designs, the same everything, recycling stuff. And everybody is okay with that.
Well, I think the most people that, or the people that are not okay with that are the people that don't make things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like that's been a saying for like ever. It's like, what is it? Good artists copy, great artists steal.
Yep.
Yeah. So like it's been like this, I think it was like directors that were using that. It's like steal different shots and different things to put in my movie because I liked this and I thought this was done well. It's just kind of the way shit is.
There's only so much you can do. Like even music, there's 12 fucking notes.
Yeah.
How many different variations of those 12 notes can we do that sound good? And Ed Sheeran even proved it. Because somebody was trying to sue him saying that he stole their songs. And he went to court with the guitar, played that three chord progression, and sang 30 different songs with that same chord progression. And he said, if I stole this, they stole this.
Yeah, and that's part of the reality. And something I think too is like, how many times have you gone online and you've seen something, and like this is a very common copy paste comment on short form is, I've never had an original experience in my life, because like it's like someone saying this thing, and that's just kind of it too. And that's another thing with art is art imitates life.
Right.
And so like if you have this where it's like, oh, this is a very common shared experience, like it's kind of the same way in music, in like creating stuff like this. It's like it's a shared experience that a lot of people have had, and that's why people relate to it. So then art is going to imitate life. Like it's just like doesn't necessarily mean they stole it even then too, but maybe they arrived at the same exact point, said the exact same joke kind of thing.
So for me, when it comes to like AI and gaming, if it ends up being something where it allows them to focus on the things that matter more for the gaming and less like nitpicky nuance stuff, I'm all for it. So like if somebody were to tell me, we want more complete games at launch. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe if fucking Jim didn't have to make a park bench to set it in like these parks throughout the fucking game manually, and he could worry about fucking, combat design instead and really flush that out and evolve it and adapt it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm okay with that bench being there. I don't give a shit. Like that doesn't affect my enjoyment in the game. I would rather them honestly pour all development hours into optimization, gameplay experience, and then just everything in terms of quality of life around that game. I would easily sacrifice little fucking nuance details that don't matter.
So just to get back on track, since we were talking about gaming, is there any other games that you have that are coming out after Pragmata you're looking forward to?
Dog, I don't even know what else is coming out the rest of this year.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have like a week in advance where I'm planning. I'm like, I know what I'm doing in this, and then after that, it's just like that part of my life doesn't exist yet.
Well, I have a second kid on the way, so I really don't fucking know.
While you're looking that up, I wanted to ask you about this because this is something that's been going on in another corner of the internet that's hilarious. Have you heard anything about, say, like what's going on with Chainsaw Man?
No.
Okay. So you've watched some anime, right?
Some, yeah.
So, have you watched them where like the ending is just terrible? Because that's a very common thing in like shonen anime. They don't know how to do endings. And it's very funny to see this because it's happened with like 2 or 3 of some of the biggest manga that people like say around 2020 when the pandemic started happening. A lot of like younger people started to get into anime and manga. And this is like their first wave of shit endings. And they're like, everyone's pissed. Everyone's like coping. It's so fucking funny.
And it's like, how do you fucking, like half these stories are so fucking asinine that it's like, how do you wrap it up? This guy has a fucking chainsaw for it. Like, you know what I mean? I have my 3 games, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, so first and foremost, Soros at the end of April, made by the team that did Returnal. I'm so fucking hyped for that game. Amazing. Like, if you haven't played Returnal, that might be one of the best PlayStation 5 games that I've ever played in my life. And the controller support is what makes it. Because it has the springs on the triggers. And when you're running around the environment, because the movement's like everything in that game, you feel it all over the control. It is just an experience like no other. Play Returnal by Soros. The other games, there's 3 in May that I'm actually excited for. Yoshi and the Mystery Book for Nintendo Switch, which I have something important I want to mention for that. 007 First Light. That game looks fantastic. That's going to give me that Uncharted feel that I've been missing.
Uncharted, Tomb Raider kind of.
And last but not least, this is probably going to catch people off guard. Lego Batman.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit when we were going through the games coming out. Yeah.
For Yoshi, what's interesting about that game in particular is that's going to be the start of Nintendo discounting digital Nintendo Switch games by $10.
Yeah, which that's definitely nice. I mean, you would like them to do stuff like that or have been doing stuff like that for a while, especially if it's going to save them costs. Like, it seems like they've been just trying to force people to do that anyway by removing like disc like readers and stuff like that.
Oh, they've just been unconsumer friendly for a bit. And this is like the first pro consumer move that they've done in a while, which I'm all for. I like Nintendo games. For some reason, if you criticize Nintendo internet, okay, I need you guys to understand something. If you criticize a company, that doesn't mean you hate them or that you don't love them. Nintendo fans seem to get their fucking panties in a wad anytime you have an opinion about Nintendo. I had somebody tell me, because I said Nintendo never discounts their games. It's a shame. And they said, why should they? Why should they? I don't care if the game's 8 years old. It's still worth full price. Are you fucking brain dead? You're going to bat for them to charge as much as possible for something that's outdated?
And Nintendo, like, so here's the thing with Nintendo. They make great games. They have a lot of not consumer-friendly policies. They've gone after and shut down different, like, tournaments using their games just because they didn't want them having the tournament and stuff like that. You know, like,
Power World, bro. What they did to Power World was a damn shame. I'm sorry. Sorry you got fucking beat by a game at a fraction of the size that made essentially a better Pokemon game than you. Which, by the way, might I add, Pokemon is not an original idea to Nintendo either. They ripped it off from someone else too.
So something that I don't think a lot of people know about what Nintendo did for a while is how they handled people playing their games on YouTube in around like the 2010 to 2012 area, like of time. They have since backed off on this, but how they used to do it was you would have to submit your video to this Nintendo like partner. I forget exactly what it was called.
A Nintendard portal.
I mean, yeah, basically. But like, so what would happen is if you would play a Nintendo game around that time, you were supposed to have to sign up for this. And then they would give you 50% of the ad revenue it generated. So they took it, and otherwise they could have just taken the ad revenue from the video entirely because they're like, you're playing our game. We don't want you doing that. We want the ad revenue for it. So that actually used to be a thing. You'd have to go on this site. You'd have to submit your video link into this. So then it would be in this like database. So it's like, hey, they submitted this and like all that. And then I forget what it was called. There was a thing in early
Robbery.
YouTube. No, so this was a thing that used to go on in early YouTube. It stopped because people realized that it didn't work and was not like profitable and was just screwing over the creators. It was, I forget the term, but there was like, I think was Machinima part of one, where it was like these almost agencies that would control and like monetize the videos, and like they would almost act as if it's getting a push from it, but then they would take portions of the ad revenue from it. And so it was just like a middleman. That has not been a thing for quite a while on YouTube. It's been probably at least 15 years, maybe a little less since that's been a thing, but that was a big thing for a while. And Nintendo was like the last to let up on that, because like other game companies, you could just make stuff. They wouldn't take the ad revenue, or if they did, they would just flag the video, but you have to actually submit any Nintendo thing you did in that portal.
I have a Nintendo hot take.
Oh yeah?
This might get me in trouble. I think that the Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't have a game that's the flagship reason why you should get a Switch 2.
I don't even think that's a hot take. I would stand there right with you and say that. That's why I don't have one. I'm just waiting for Zelda. Like, okay,
just
maybe when Zelda
anything.
comes out.
Metroid Prime 4 was not a Switch 2 game. That was a Nintendo Switch game ported to Switch 2. Pokemon ZA, same thing. Bonanza was good, but I don't think it was like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Kart, it was all right.
That was the closest one. I think that's the one they were banking on.
They were banking on, but what's funny is I think they did too much in the game. I actually think they overcomplicated with all the crazy jump flips and stuff like that it deterred the average player. Sometimes simplicity is easier. That's kind of what made Double Dash beautiful. Is like you did have the 2 character thing, but there wasn't anything besides wave dashing, you know?
Yeah, I think too, it's also a rough time, I think, to be trying to sell new consoles and stuff to people, like
Right.
economically.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, side note, some people are saying Pokepia is that game. It might be. If you love those Animal Crossing kind of games, fantastic. They're not for me. So that wouldn't be enough to convince me to do that. But rumor has it Ocarina of Time is getting remade. And if that happens,
that might do it.
That's fucking crazy. But what Nintendo needs to do right now is they need to stop making things for the Switch and make it for the Switch too. They need to just offload that.
They're still making it for the regular Switch.
A lot of games, yeah, are being like, and when you do that, because the Switch, I love the Switch too. As a console, it's fantastic. It feels great. It's like the screen's nice. The Joy-Cons are a lot better. It feels like such a more professional version of the Switch. It's awesome. But every game that I've played that is Switch 2 and Switch, I notice it. Like, I'm like, this is not it. Like, this is not, you guys were like, yeah, we're trying to get like all the old Switch people's sales still. And it's like, I get that's good for business, right? There's more people that own a Switch than the Switch 2. But with like these major games like Prime 4, which was, in my opinion, disastrous, was not good.
That's unfortunate.
It was not good. And
I know people have wanted a new Metroid game for a long time.
I did, dude. I was waiting for it, and they had to scrap the first one because it was so bad. Metroid Prime 4 originally was being made, and in the middle of its development cycle was so bad, they scrapped it and gave it to someone else. And I think what happened is that they were so deep in money and so far into time that they just could not make it good.
Oh, that's unfortunate, man, because that's an IP people have wanted to come back for so long, and just to have it not hit, that's rough.
I couldn't even finish it.
Oof.
I couldn't finish 4, and I even went back and played the first remaster that they re-released, and which was just a Switch 1 game, might I add. Wasn't even meant for Switch 2. And it was phenomenal. I was like, this is like, you fucking had it. You had the recipe. Like, everything was there. So I just hope that Nintendo starts really utilizing their console, because I don't think it's a bad console.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually really good for a handheld.
I really want, for Switch 2, I want the new Zelda to be, not the remake, but like the next one they do, the next mainline one, to be closer to like
old school Zeldas.
Yeah, linear. I just think those ones, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be linear, even if it's more like Wind Waker 2, you know?
Just Breath of the Wild was a fantastic game, but I'm over it.
Yeah, I think people are over stamina, and I think people are over breakable weapons.
Breakable weapons is a tough one in that game, because there's so many cool weapons you find, and you're like, I don't want to fucking use
Yeah, exactly.
this.
You don't want to use it, and I feel like that kind of sucks. I get it. I get what they were going for, but because Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the things that they introduced, like the mechanics, like the different powers that you can have and how those solve puzzles, those are really cool. Like, and I'd like doing the shrines, but it's just like, man, I do just want, going through like a Twilight Princess or like Ocarina of Time, where it's just like, yeah,
that nice traditional Zelda
it's just
feel.
the game. It's not your equipment. It's just playing the game and
Right.
like unlocking the different, like, sure, different like items that unlock stuff, but you're not constantly inventory managing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, and especially after recently playing Twilight Princess and whatnot, I like Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom, I had to force myself to finish, because by the time I was at the end of Tears of the Kingdom, I was really burnt out on it, because it felt like such a continuation of Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, I've already beat this game essentially. The sandbox feeling of Tears of the Kingdom was really cool. I love that you could just like build anything, and I love that the second you give gamers the ability to do anything, the first thing they're gonna do is make a flying penis.
Yeah, it's was it TTP, time to penis? That metric?
Yeah,
That's a real metric.
I know, and it was fucking hilarious. It was amazing, and I love that. But I definitely want the temple feel back.
Yeah, I think so too, where you go to set areas and it's like, all right, this is the water temple,
Yep.
the earth temple. I I would love for them to go back in that direction. I think that what they did was good, but it'd be pretty cool to go back now. I think.
Yeah, I'm shrined out.
Yeah.
Shrined out. I can't do it anymore. I don't want to find 100+ different shrines. I'm over it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Obviously, it feels good to be back after Car Crash Cast in here.
But hey, some of those are C's, all right? Some of them are C's.
I'm spelling with a K.
No. They're just crash casted, please.
We're actually going to start doing some gaming streams soon, too. I hope you guys check those out. The first gaming stream we're going to be doing is Resident Evil 5 co-op. He's obviously going to be Sheva.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not going to mod it. We're just going to keep it as vanilla as possible.
Okay. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so we're just going to have some fun with it, and we're going to start doing some gaming streams, too. So we'll have some news on that for you guys soon, too. But it feels great to be back. If you guys want us to cover anything or have any particular questions or anything like that, leave them in the comments, as always. And we're going to be back to regular schedules.
Yes, finally. Now that I can actually get here.
Please knock on wood for us that he doesn't wreck this car. Not by my Dark Souls 3 figure. No.
My figure.
Oh my God. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye. Just a little extra information for anybody who's interested. This will be a members only stream on Kid Shadow's YouTube channel. The first one being Sunday, April 19th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. It will be uploaded on the 1UP 1Breakdown channel afterwards for free. Right now, the channel isn't monetized, so we're doing this so we can put a little money into the actual podcast, primarily for editing the episodes. There's been a lot of content we had planned and have wanted to do, but we just can't really do it at the same time as editing the podcast. There's just not enough time, unfortunately, with me working full time and him having to do all his own content stuff. And we have a lot of fun things planned, so we really want to be able to make that for you guys. Again, Sunday, April 19th, 12 p.m., Kid Shadow's channel. Will be on the 1UP 1Breakdown channel after. Bye!